first, love better. Stop making this common mistake. Praying for a husband while your unhealed wounds are still choosing for you. Hi, I'm Marvel. I'm a registered therapist and a faith-led coach for Christian women. Today, I want to talk to the woman who loves God, but keeps ending up in relationships that hurt. You're not crazy. You're not cursed. But maybe you haven't yet asked yourself this question. Why am I choosing love? Is it from my healing or from my wounds? Here's what I see over and over in my work with women, beautiful, gifted, prayerful women, choosing partners who trigger their anxiety, justify red flags as God is testing me, staying in situations that don't feel safe because the fear of being alone feels worse than the pain of being mistreated. If that sounds familiar, here is the truth no one is probably telling you. Unhealed trauma doesn't just make you tolerate dysfunction, it teaches you to crave for it. It says, this is what love feels like. You have to earn affection. Don't ask for too much. Now, let me tell you a real story. And this lady is beautiful, kind, intelligent, a university graduate with so much potential. But somewhere along the line, her confidence dwindled. Her parents had divorced when she was about 10 years old. Her father moved away quickly, remarried, became a committed member of his new church, and got committed to his own family. On the other hand, her mother never remarried. She worked 2 jobs, exhausted, trying to hold the family together. There was little time for affection or emotional warmth. So this young lady learned, don't need too much, don't make noise. Be strong always. Be helpful even when you're hurting. By the time she graduated, she looked together on the outside, but inside, she was carrying decades of unprocessed, unhealed wounds. And she had just ended an engagement to a pastor. What began in prayer ended in deep betrayal. And instead of healing, she buried it. Meanwhile, her friends were all getting married. She smiled in their photos, but each wedding reminded her of the one that she didn't have. Okay, she took a job that was far below her qualifications. You may ask why? Because some part of her didn't believe she deserved better. She dressed simply so she wouldn't be noticed. She didn't speak up in meetings, avoided attention, and avoided her own dreams. And then men started to notice her. Not the respectful one, emotionally safe colleagues that she had and secretly admired. That one didn't come to ask her. Guess the one that showed up. A married co-worker who would boldly ask her on a date. Another one who smoked and openly used drugs. They were the ones calling her, visiting her after work, showing her affection. And she let them in, not because she didn't know better, but because something in her still believed this is the best I can get. Until one weekend, she called this colleague's phone and a friend picked it up and said, he can't talk. He's at his traditional wedding. Her heart cracked because she knew somewhere deep down that this wasn't feeling right, but her loneliness was speaking louder. And she confronted him some weeks afterwards, and the guy said, I was dating both of you. I was going to settle down and get married, whichever of you was ready. And that really broke her heart. But she began to really ask herself, what is it about me that makes me available to men that are not safe? And she began to really think deeply and began to name the hurt of her mother's silence, that never processed shame from the failed engagement. She never asked anybody for counseling or therapy or coaching. And I want to ask you, are you choosing from your place of healing or from your wounds? Because if you haven't healed, you will settle for crumbs and call it attention. You will ignore red flags and call it patience. You will spiritualize confusion and call it God's process. You want to love, but you will pick chaos because chaos is what your nervous system calls home. But you see, when you start healing, it changes everything. And I like you, before you pray for a husband, pray for this instead. Heal me, the part of me that calls inconsistency, God testing me. Heal the part of me that fears loneliness more than emotional safety. Heal the part of me that settles because I don't believe I'm enough. Because you are who you are before the relationship will shape how you show up in it. When you heal, you don't just wait for better. You actually choose better. All right. I'm excited to announce that my debut book is out, and I'm really excited. My website, www.marvel@dme.com. You can download that right away. Feel free to book a one-on-one session with me, and let's walk through the emotional patterns, the voices that still whisper that you're not enough. Because you are enough. You are worthy of love that doesn't hurt. You don't have to earn it. You only have to heal what has made you believe you didn't deserve it. If this message blessed you, I have one request only. Share it with someone you know that needs it. You subscribe and leave a comment on what you'd like me to speak about in the next video. Also, you can listen to this as a podcast. I'll leave the links in the description below. Stay confident, stay beautiful. See you in my next video. Bye for now.